What is up? Shop Talk podcast, and once again we are live from the Workbench. This is on the What's for Dinner channel. Also, this is for March 26th, 2019. This is episode 49. There we go. You guys can hear that. I'm pretty sure I bought the same cable that Bill Burr was having a problem with for a few months. Well, it's lasted me a year. So, hope you guys are having a good week. I was going to postpone this a little bit till tomorrow, but after what I just seen of Nurkic broke his leg. If you're not familiar with him, he plays for the Trailblazers. He was formerly on Denver Nuggets, if you watch NBA. But yeah, he just broke his leg, and it was pretty nasty. I'm going to play that video. And I don't know if the video's embedded, so hopefully this doesn't affect anything. Hold on, I got to adjust some stuff here. Maybe that's going to be better. Okay. Also, check out one of my new cooking video. I have it should be out next day or so. It's What's for Dinner is the channel, obviously. It will be a Frisco Melt steak and shake copycat melt burger, whatever the hell you want to call it. And also, I got the idea from Anne's Family Recipe. That's just how you think it's spelled. Check out her channel, and as well, she's also on Instagram as well. And I came across her channel, and that's kind of what gave me the idea to do the video. Ballistic Barbecue, or Greg over there. I've been watching for years. And he scrolled an old website. I should say it. The video's 4 or 5 years ago, and scrolled a website across the screen rather than in the description. And this guy has a podcast as well. Other than the website is SeriousEats.com, and you can find his podcast on there. From there, I came across his podcast also. Well, on the website there, he also sells many different culinary items as well. Check out his podcast. It's pretty damn good. He's got the one guy from, it's not the pizza show, but the guy was on the pizza show. I believe it's called Special Sauce. And there's also another podcast I came across trying to look for it. I just ran into it by accident. It's called Secret Sauce, and it's about the restaurant industry. So it's pretty neat stuff, I think. At least in the stuff I'm interested in the world I live in. I bought a half a pan, which is half of a whole. A whole pan. Usually people bake cookies and stuff with it. It's the larger one. The half a pan, a lot of times we'll use them at sub places or pizza places that do subs and stuff like that. But I picked it up. It's basically a baking sheet. I got it from GFS, which, if you don't know, it's basically a wholesale, but almost a restaurant supply place. Also, anybody can go in there and get food as well. It's not necessarily wholesale, but if you have a tax ID, obviously they'll take it, which every other fucking place will take it too. So they also, let's see here. This didn't come out completely right. But one of my best buys was that pan. Also, they had a spatula there that was almost a knife edge spatula, very heavy duty, probably last me forever. But the pan, the half a tray, was only $11. I don't know if it's aluminum, but it's pretty thick. Anyways, say you were to cook anything on it, really, and you take it out of the oven, it will retain so much heat. I just did a smash burger video, and I recently found out, I don't think, what the hell is this? This is not even, apologies, okay? Jesus. Okay. Yeah, okay. So I didn't know I knew most of them were on the West Coast. I knew there were some on the East Coast. I didn't know that there were any of those smash burger restaurants around my area. I was recently told, I believe there is one about 20 minutes away from me, so I'm definitely going to have to check them out. If I would have known that, I probably would have done some recon and kind of got my inside scoop on it. You'll see some different variations if you do watch the Frisco Melt video. It's copycat, but I'm also still it's kind of my take on it still. Let's see here. The reason why I wasn't going to do it until tomorrow is because I'm pretty damn tired because I only slept a few hours last night and worked all day. But yeah, I seen this Nurkic break his leg. I'm going to get onto that. And later we'll talk about some other stuff. A couple new movies that came out. Let's see here. I hate that when I do that. Here we go.
It's not sudden. Preparation.
Or lack thereof.
As far as the actual job's concerned, it's a piece of piss. A monkey could do it. That's what I thought of you.
Let's get on to this. How far are we in? They might not ding me. Maybe they won't listen that far. This guy rips his videos anyways. So this is Nurkic for the Portland Trailblazers. He's going up, I believe, to get a rebound. Let's see. This freaking TV will load quick enough. I need to get all this crap together down here. And if you don't know, I'm going to do a video one day of my little recording setup down here at Andrew's Bar. Small, quiet place. Only your wife bothers you at. Fuck Arby's, by the way. You can sponsor. Yeah. Send the check in the mail. Okay. So like Nurkic goes up, and the crazy thing, yeah. Just the break is right above his ankle, and it just looks like his whole leg snapped like a twig. It's probably 3-4 inches up from his ankle. Yeah, they're all praying. Everybody's disgusted on the sidelines. Yeah. And then they bring out the air cast. I don't know what you call it. I was going to play let's see here if I can't go back. I was trying to avoid the ad. I don't want to get dinged and pulled off of here. Here we go. Oh my God. And then the ref steps over him and accidentally kicks his foot and doesn't even realize what the hell just happened. Oh, that's got to be the most painful break. All these basketball players recently just breaking their legs. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the peanut allergies, that wasn't in generations before us. I'm kidding. I really don't know what it is. Karis LeVert, I don't know how many months ago. He's already back playing again. Can't believe it. Cannot believe it. So, Jesus. I feel bad for the guy. Hopefully he gets better. Yeah. Let's see here. Also, there was a new release on Netflix, the movie about Motley Crue, based on their book that was released called The Dirt, which is a very great movie. I'd definitely check it out if I were you. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. I just was a little skeptical about the movie at first until a guy I work with we were talking. Well, he was telling me about it because I don't go on Netflix too often, but it's there. I probably watched almost every. Evil Genius is real good too. You should watch that if you're into. That's a fucked up movie. Yeah, you should definitely check that out. And it was good, but at first, it's MGK, Machine Gun Kelly. I believe he is from the Cleveland, Ohio area. Very talented guy. But I was a little leery with him playing the drummer, Tommy Lee. And it worked out very good. But the scene where Vince, that would be Vince Neil, crashes his Corvette, and his friend dies. Frizzle or Frazzle, yeah, that not the shame, no pun intended, not on his name. I thought it was a Ferrari. I know it's all trivial, but it was a red Corvette in the movie. It did take a while to grow on me because not all the guys looked like everyone in the band. I really did like Mick Mars' part, which he was about 10 years older than in real life than them. And Tommy Lee, Nikki Sixx was all drugged up and wasn't going to go to. Oh, see, this is why I can't tell. I mean, I could tell you anyways because it really happened. You know what I mean? So it's not like I'm spoiling anything. If you don't know the history behind them, that's not necessarily my fault. But yeah, in the movie, I don't even know if he said these words. Mick Mars was like, drummer, I'll do it. Even after years of being in a band together, he just called him drummer, which I thought was hilarious. Just the way he said it. So, okay, Jesus. Had to go for a little break there. For a second, see if the microphone can pick that up. Before I forget, so I put a little poll out there on Facebook, and I appreciate everybody that put in a vote. It was basically what you want to see me cook on the next video, and the one is Frisco Melt versus fish and chips. The Frisco Melt's winning. That's 99%. I'm sure is what I'll be doing tomorrow. I got a killer recipe for it. There's many other things that I want to cook. Some of these, I got this little list here. I'm going to do eventually an Oklahoma onion burger. I kind of did a variation of it last night. Didn't record any of it, of course. I don't test out things a whole lot. Sometimes when I cook it in the videos, is the first time I ever cooked it. So I did my own version of it. It was very good, very good. I may just do the straight up Oklahoma onion burger first, and then eventually down the line, kind of do another spin. I did it was so many, maybe 6 months ago. I don't remember how long ago. I was doing a 3-part burger series, and one of them was Andy's Diner, a burger basically. But that was my take on the Corner Deli, which I think they went out of business. But having a business in downtown of any major city is very difficult and very expensive. So I got some of these other recipes I want to do on here. Of course, fish and chips is one of them, and I'll eventually do it. Deep fried pork chops. I would like to do a Wendy's copycat chili. I made chili for the first time. Seen many people make it before. I actually used to make it when I was a kid. I think I was 15, 16 years old and worked at a Wendy's. So I kind of have a good idea of how they make it, or at least how they used to make it. Which I'm going to do some things that are very similar to how they do them there. What I used on when I just did it at home is so good I offered it to other people. And I wasn't going to put any beans in it. I did put 1 can of pinto beans. I do not like beans. I like baked beans if they're cooked right, but I do not like beans, especially in my chili. But you have to have them because even in Wendy's, they use them and they use the juices from them, if I remember correctly. You could do some other things with their chili. Obviously, they brown up their meat. It is the previous day's meat. It's not necessarily burnt. It's stuff that, so they put enough on the grill just in case everybody orders. And if they don't order, that's the meat that goes in there. From what I remember, we only used like the single or, that type of meat. And I believe it's a 1/4 pound. Like the Dave single. It never used to be called the Dave single, but now it is. Ever since, I mainly got this griddle because getting around having a panini press, I have always wanted to do the Cubans or Cubanos from the Chef movie with, what's his name, Farva, or that's the cop from a different movie. You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, and then there's this place I seen, I believe they're out of Chicago. It's called Jim's Original Polish Sausage, and it's basically just yellow mustard, grilled onions, and steamed buns. But with the various different meats that they do there, they actually stick the meat inside these grilled onions that are still on the grill to keep everything warm. And I mean, there's a couple other things on here that I haven't wrote down, but I swear, okay, yeah. So the griddle has an underside of it, and I'm going to use my bacon press, which is also Lodge and the Lodge company, and do it that way. So the whole thing, the reason why I've been putting off doing the Cubanos, is how I am going to do the pork, and it's just time consuming, and I've been working a lot lately. So back on to the subject. Let's see if it's still going. Oh yeah, got my little Mexican beer here. Excuse me. So has anybody been watching the March Madness college basketball? Zion Williamson just basically defeated Taco Fall against UCF, and yeah, they barely beat them. But I believe UCF beat them during the regular season. This is why I need to do this earlier, but yeah. So I've been wanting to watch a lot more of the games. Luckily, with technology and YouTube, I can watch highlights of at least an NBA basketball game within under 10 minutes, the whole game. I would like to watch all the Cavs games and a lot of the college games because there's a lot of people that are going to be in this draft class that are just so talented. Literally, I don't care if we get Zion Williamson. If you don't know, now you know. I'm a Cavs fan. I mean, I'd care who the hell we get, but I really like Ja Morant. I'm really surprised they got beat out. But, they can, to be honest with you, they can move on from Colin Sexton or put Colin Sexton at the 2. They've been doing that since Brandon Knight got on the team. I love Brandon Knight. I like Marquise Chris. I think they're a great fit for Cleveland. Yeah, I think they're only a few pieces away from doing something big. The whole problem is they don't have, like a go-to guy. I mean, other than Kevin Love, but it's not the same. I'm not talking about LeBron James. What I'm saying is they don't have set people at positions. You were like, well, let's see, for instance, I'm looking at my YouTube not my YouTube page, but my, what the fuck you want to call it, subscriptions. So, okay, here's a guy, Damian Lillard for the Blazers. That's your set player. He goes to almost any other team. 99. He goes to 95% of the other teams, maybe more. He's starting. Same way with Russell. I'm looking at, D'Angelo Russell, all-star this year. He goes to another team, he's the starter for the whole year. And if not, they're moving him to the 2. Same way with Lillard. Devin Booker, went for 59 points. Why? While there was only one other player in double figures. Yeah. Excuse me, Jesus. Yeah, so I mean, look at this. Jimmer Fredette, that's one thing I forgot. Just signed with the Phoenix Suns, or I should say he, playing with the Phoenix Suns. 31 years old, I believe. He was 0 for 8 until he had a couple free throws. I don't actually know what he ended up with as far as points goes, but he was the last great college player since J.J. Redick, and hell, I don't even know how old J.J. Redick is, 36, 37, 38, thinking 36. Either way, he's remained in the league, and now Fredette Jimmer is back. Oh. Okay, and then if any of you computer geeks...
Who the fuck said that? Who's the slimy little communist shit twinkle-toed cocksucker down here?
And I'll say it again. If I had it originally as internet geeks.
Who the fuck said that?
If you guys could please help me or send me an email at Shoptalkwithdrew at Yahoo, and I can explain any further things that you need to know. I need help. I'm just trying to change my artwork on the Apple Podcast app. I changed the name of the channel, and I wasn't necessarily going to change it in the Apple Podcast app right away. It did, however, update itself. I don't know how, because that's where it's fed from. So that's a little background about it. But yeah, I'm just trying to change the artwork, look more professional, with changing the name. The name has already been changed. I didn't change it how I wanted it. Not necessarily the name itself, but I'm saying on my grounds, I should say. But yeah, I know, I should be able to do this myself. The whole problem is podcasting started 9-10 years ago. Not everybody does it, so it's not like I could just go to work and talk to someone or run into one of my friends and they tell me. Now I know some younger kids that actually have a fucking media class and stuff like that, but they're not going to know. I mean, I can sit here and get into all this technical jargon, like a RSS feed. Some people know what that is, even if they don't have one, but I don't want to change my feed, because if I change the feed, I lose all the subscribers. That's a last-ditch effort, and I don't know that it'll come to that. So, but I just want to change the artwork. It can't be that difficult. I just don't know how to do it. I'm a little behind as far as technology goes. So, yeah. Again, I forgot to even mention R.J. Barrett for the Duke. You got Cam Reddish, but definitely now there's all these other guys, especially driving up their NBA stock in the March Madness. I can't pronounce the guy for Villanova last year. The white guy got drafted to the Bucks. Wow, how he drove up his stock. There's a guy named Edwards out there. Did he play for? Or no, he plays for Purdue, and he just hit a game-winning shot, I believe, over Villanova. Yeah, so there were so many guys on Villanova that got in last year. Brunson, Spellman. Oh, I was just thinking of the guy. Went to the Suns. I just thought of his name before those two other guys. Couldn't think of their names. Bridges. And yeah, I can't pronounce the other guy's name. The white guy. How many white guys are there on the team? Okay. So, on April 11th, the pawn shop that I worked at for 9 years, on and off, they have officially sold their business. If you ever listen to this, now you know. They're going out of business officially on April 11th after almost 70 years of business. Something like 69 years of business. So, yeah. The jig is up, my friend. The jig is up. But everybody that worked there could see the writing on the wall. And maybe I thought about getting back into the pawn industry. Things are going good where I work right now. So, yeah, I don't want to really mention it. But, yeah, things are going good. So, can't complain there. Yeah. Things could be a lot worse, and they have been before. So, check out some of my videos and check me out on social media. I also, by the way, changed the name of my Instagram, of course, to What's for Dinner. I changed it to What's for Dinner Recipes because What's for Dinner was already taken, of course. It's all together, no underscores. Yeah. So, hope you guys have a good week. I don't know what previous episode I'm going to link to this, but I will link one. So stick around. Probably hear something from a year before. You guys have a great week. Let's see if I can't get some of these up. Nope. This goddamn cord. Let's see here. There we go.
Where's my cat?
I killed your cat, you druggy bitch.
God, why?
I felt it would bring
I'm going to
closure
drink a
to our
beer.
relationship.
Try to get a buzz.
Killed my.
And yeah, get some rest. I got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow. I'm sure you do too.
You what, bitch?
Let's see here if we can't.
Hey, so what do you want?
What I've always wanted is to watch you die.
Oh, you ordered the meatloaf. The brisket's really good here, only you'll never know it. You fucked up.
Let's see. Still going.
You were scared little pricks. Both of yous. All yous. Scary shitless, but I tried to make you tough. I tried to make you hard.
Oh, I had you all wrong then, Nux. All this time I thought you just liked fucking and beating up little boys.
You two motherfuckers are gonna burn in hell. You're gonna burn in hell.
Yeah, and after you.
Did that hurt, Nux?
Okay. Stick around. Check out the videos. Things are popping off. Just mentioned on Smoking and Grilling with AB. Things are looking up.
So simple then. Got me thinking, I remember the time. Can it be that it was all so simple then? Ain't no changing what's left. Can it be that it was all so simple then? Because we all race against death. Can it be that it was all so simple then? Got me thinking, I remember the time. Can it be that it was all so simple then? Ain't no changing what's left. Can it be that it was all so simple then? Because we all race against death.
Yeah. Some of these levels. March 26th, 2018. Live from the Workbench. Shop Talk Podcast with Drew. Episode 4. Yeah. Maybe I should do that a little bit more subtle. Maybe not. Okay, yeah, just trying out some different shit. Shop Talk with Drew. You can always reach me. This episode 4, the final 4, March 26, 2018. Shop Talk with Drew. You can reach me at Shoptalkwithdrew at Yahoo. Watch the Duke and Kansas game. Oh yeah, OT baby, winning it overtime. Good game. You know. I like this March Madness. This is the most college basketball I've watched. Mind you, I realized I was recording all last night into this fucking stupid this stereo looper, and I didn't realize it. But at the time, I got all my levels wrong. So got all the levels wrong. I need to go back and record them into it again. I stayed up till like 5 in the morning. About killed me. Back onto the Final 4. It's coming up. How about this March Madness? I was going to watch 60 Days In. Most of you know. I canceled my cable, and they're going to come back and reinstall it. Yeah, I'm faking them out and put it in someone else's name. But that's really what I'm doing. My wife's name. And I was about to watch 60 Days In on last Thursday, and right before it was 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and right when I was going to go watch it, the fucking cable cut off. The finale, where they all sit around and they bitch and complain at each other, and that's what I was really looking forward to. So hopefully when it comes back on, they'll re-air that episode. And, see here. Yeah, the last episode. I thought this won't air till tomorrow because obviously the cable's not here. But I thought I was going to have to go to McDonald's and upload this, like a lot of those guys that are like off the grid and doing the cabin thing, and good thing I didn't. Yeah, luckily my wife went downtown. They got free Wi-Fi. Not downtown Columbus, but I'm not going to exactly say where I'm at. Small town. Downtown's real small, and they're rebuilding everything, and it's actually pretty nice now. So she uploaded it, of course, to YouTube. And when she got back here, I used her phone to upload everything else. And, yeah, can't complain about that. Missed the Cavs in Brooklyn game. Watched some of the highlights. Called around to James. A couple alley-oops in the last few minutes. Great. They need to play Calderon more, and I've said that before. Seasoned vet. That's why he wears number 81. Because he was born in 81. So that makes him 36. But great, underrated player. Tuesday, Cavs versus Miami, 8 p.m. Eastern. I will have the cable, so I'll be watching that. So I'll get more in depth on the Cavs. Steph Curry won't see the first round of the playoffs. And I think that's fucking great. They still got Clay, still got Draymond, the donkey, kicking people in the nuts. And you got Pachulia, the dirtiest player in the game. So they say. Well, and they got KD too, which could be, he's a great player. And he's really, really freaking huge. That went pretty quick. I got this new setup. Got some cheap $9 cables. I'm going to break it down. Buying a mixer. I just need it. I got a re-record all these levels again, these old songs. That song was probably 16 years old. I still lived at home, and I borrowed, I think, Faded Gibson SG from my brother, and it borrowed from him because he lived there. So when he left, I just took it and recorded it. And there was a couple episodes ago I mentioned the Zola guitar, Zolla guitar, and I failed to mention that those pickups were wound by MJ, which I believe she either ran the custom shop for Seymour Duncan, or she currently is, but I know she ran it, and those MJ pickups are silently hot. You know what I fucking mean. And even though the guitar's from 85, maybe I said 86, the pickups aren't. They're from 86, I believe. It's been a while since I've taken them out to look at them, because I've never, I took one picture of them just in case. You never know when you're going to sell something, which is what a fucking shame. I just put something online. I put it on before for a buy it now. I thought, man, I need some excitement in my life, so I put an auction style up, and also for you gear freaks out there, I also put the buy it now on there. And it's just a Techniques turntable. Sold the lid, $140, right? So what do you think I want for the turntable? Custom blue LEDs. It's fucking sweet. Anyways, it got bid up to $300, which is low. The previous auction. Reserve was not met. I put lowered reserve in just one particular spot on the auction, and within a day, it got bid up to $305. So go figure. Some people just go nuts when you change the reserve, and I don't want to sell it, and I never wanted to sell it, but yeah, things change. I want to buy some other things. Times are hard. I'll explain that in some newer episodes. Not doing what's for dinner today. If you want to know, I had spaghetti, and it was pretty fucking good. And I'm going to go eat some more and watch that new Matt Damon flick, Downsizing, or something like that. But I got a quick tip for you on your Mexican beer with a lime in it. I'm not going to say what it's called. But if you want a cheap fix for that, you spring for the champagne of beers. And by the way, they're not paying me to say this. Just add a lime. It's a little foamy, so you got to be careful. You got to drink it quick. But if you want to save some money, your money's getting low, it's Miller Time's version of Still Reserve. It tastes a little bit better. I've read some reviews, and the armpit taste is how they refer to it. But some of the guys at Bell's, I believe, brewery, some of the head brewers there, they actually enjoy it once in a great while. But, I tend to go for the ones in the bottles because they just taste a little bit better, even though I like certain beer in a can. Today I'm still waiting for that big job, Pepsi-Cola. Wearing the Coca-Cola hat. Yeah, like that's ever going to happen. So today we're going to go a little bit over the pedal board. Let's see. And I need a drink because I'm parched. By the way, I hate when fucking people say that. Such a fucking oxymoron. And email me with anything you think about the new audio. Again, I need to update my setup, but I've got some different things in the works and different things going on right now. Should be a little clearer. Again, I'm trying to record this way before 10 p.m. Eastern time, so no one gets upset. Because I've got the old Fender cranked only to 12 o'clock, so it's not really cranked. I mean, I love to dime those 12-watt tube amps, old vintage Fenders. But as far as the pedal board goes, I still need a fucking drink. I love watching Uncle Doug on YouTube and greetings, alcoholics. Thank you very much. As far as the pedal board goes, and just for aesthetics, because I've got an older. I had a guitar when I was a child. This is just a Fender Powerhouse Strat, and ended up buying another one, exact same color, black, black and white, and I was going to tuxedo it out, put a black pick guard on it, leave the white pickups and the white pickup covers in it, and actually bought the pickup pick guard, put in it, and decided I liked the pick guard that was on it already. And I went out and bought all gold hardware for it, which luckily I didn't buy it piece by piece, so I got a decent deal on it. And like a dummy, but I needed the money, I put the Chrome stuff online, and basically I paid a little over $100 for all the gold hardware, and I got a little over $100 for all the Chrome hardware, so it worked out and installed all that. And if you have to change out your vintage style tuners, you're gonna need a tool from I had one at where I worked before from Stuart McDonald, and to take out the little ferrules that are recessed into the neck, and it pops them out. But I don't know what that tool's called, but I think it's $20 some. That's why I haven't been around to buying one. Probably should get one, but I'm not doing too many guitar repairs as of the moment. And never ran into it other than changing out the hardware on my own guitar. And I've repaired well over 200 to 300, maybe more guitars. Where I worked before, we had 500 to 600 guitars on display, and then there was probably 300 to 400 locked in the back in these different catacombs of the pawn shop. Where previous employees would take stuff that was somewhat valuable and they would hide it because one day, the boss would go away and the employees would play and they would buy stuff and resell it and try to make some money. Can't blame them, but I guarantee whatever. On to the pedal board because I keep fucking putting it off. Again, for aesthetic look, so you heard about the Powerhouse Strat. This is black, white pick guard, gold hardware. So for just aesthetics, I have El Cheapo. I think it's a CBI cable, but I can't remember. It's sitting right in front of me. A gold mine cable, black. It's got the little gold accents on it. But that's just for looks. I've got a few other Planet Waves cables. I like those that lock in. They got these little gold connectors and everything, and they lock in to your guitar and to whatever pedal you're going into first. I've owned a lot of different pedals, and it took me many different years to get to my pedal setup, and it's still not where I want it. There's some other things that I want to get that I used to have. I just haven't got around to it because they're not necessarily a necessity, but I've owned probably 3 pedal power pluses by Voodoo Lab. Those are great. I still have all the cables because I don't even know if they sell the cables with them anymore. All the power cables. But I've had 3 of those at least, and I always sell them because I bought them for cheap. Sometimes I would buy them at cost. That was another perk of where I worked before. The first pawn shop, not the second pawn shop. The second pawn shop, they're bullshit. They didn't know what the fuck they're doing. On to the first pedal. You got a Teese RMC 2 Real McCoy wah pedal. And seen Paul Gilbert set up at one point. I never really liked the nasally aspect of, Ernie Ball wah pedal. I wanted to get one of the Ernie Ball ones that had the double, had twice the amount of voicing. Whatever. Never got one. Those are still cheap. You can pick them up. But this one I paid $150 for used. And I had another one. I had another pedal board. And I'll get into that some other day. But I sold one exact same thing for $220 probably 4 or 5 years ago, which I should have never did, but I had to. Going right into a metal screamer, 2 different metal screamers. The first one set more of a rhythm with, I believe, the gain turned all the way down. And let me go over there and that's incorrect. The gain's all turned all the way down. The level's all the way up. So you can use it kind of like a boost or a rhythm kind of sound. But the other, they call it the Metal Licks, which is the second gain stage in the metal screamer. It's a tube screamer. It's the same fucking thing. They only made it for 1 year and they didn't make a tube screamer. So what is this? They only did it for marketing purposes. And that's set all the way down. So you got both gain stages turned all the way down and the level turned all the way up. The next one, I've set it many different ways, It's another metal screamer from 1985. And this one actually doesn't sound as warm as the other one. And I've owned probably a handful of metal screamers. Had one before and it sounded worse than the other 2 I have right now, and so I sold that when the time came. It was just a backup. And then I actually bought one, like, it was brand new with the box and everything like that. And this was back when I had my business, and I sold it for $150. It was like new. I'm sure I don't remember what it sounded like, but I paid like $58 for it. So why not? When you're in the business of making money, you need to make some money. And then I'm going right into a Voodoo Lab Micro Vibe. You can only use them for a few songs, but if you want to play those few songs, you need a Micro Vibe. I like them better than other Vibe pedals, and I've played a lot of Vibe pedals, and I keep going back to that one. I had another one before, had a whole other pedal board, and I went and got to the point where I wasn't playing with any pedals. But for what I do, for the stuff I try to do, like Jimi Hendrix and stuff like that, there's certain pedals you need. You could get by without them, but I ain't that good, so I need some guitar pedals. Then I'm going right into a Boss RV6, which I've owned the RV5. Great pedal. This one the only difference is it has delay. Well, I don't use delay. So, I mean, I could go with the RV5. It wouldn't really matter to me. Of course, I got a couple different amps. I'll talk about them some other time. But then I got these jumpers, these DiMarzio jumpers. And believe it or not, most of the 6-inch cables, I won't say cheap. A lot of the 6-inch cables I've ever used, even before the 3 I have now, DiMarzio ones, I've never paid for. I've always been given them to where I worked before. And even at the job where they didn't know what they were doing, they knew enough to let me have the cables. But that's before new management came in. That's a whole other story in itself. And I mentioned I'm not doing what's for dinner I'll get into that further in a couple more episodes, and we'll have more What's for Dinners going on, more NBA talk, more grilling. The weather's changing. It's going to rain all week here in Ohio. We'll get back to it, little different tricks you can do. And little guitar tips, new stuff coming up. I'm playing around with stuff right now, and cable's coming tomorrow. Wi-Fi's coming tomorrow. I can't fucking wait. It's been long overdue. Let's see. It's like 9:39. And I was trying to do this, trying to end the show last time with this. And I guaranteed. I haven't tuned the guitar. Got another guitar, the Powerhouse Strat. Got a restring. And by the way, and they're not paying me to say this. I'm having some trouble with the family back east. They're not paying me to say this, but for a while, when I was doing a lot of more guitar work, I fell in love with they weren't I did like those, the half rounds, and we ordered a lot from SIT because they're up in Akron, Ohio, so they're close, and they sponsor a bunch of people, Black Keys, all these different companies, all these different bands, but that has nothing to do with it. What I'm saying is, Joe, they're the salesman from there. I miss talking to you. That's funny. He calls and talks to everybody all over Ohio. Tells them his whole life story. But no, he's cool as fuck. Their half rounds are cool. Really cool, different feel. I turned on a guy that jazz player that didn't like flat wounds. Because so much tension, I don't blame him. But he got turned on to the half rounds because he plays jazz. Makes sense. And then the other ones that I really dug were the half gauges, and I always wanted to try them because, like, the Carlos Santana shit came out. And I ordered 2 pairs of the 9.5s and 2 pairs of the 10.5 SITs, staying 2 string. And they're good, but I found that DR Dario has 10.5s. They have certain half gauge strings, and I've always been a DR Dario guy, so that's who I went with. And very good. That's what I was trying to do at the end of the show last time. It didn't work. The amp was too low before. Mind you, give me a fucking break because I haven't played in so long. I rarely ever practice. That's my own fault. A lot of things set in. Life becomes black. And, shitstorm, So, what can you do? I think that'll be all for me this week. I'm going to come up with some more stuff. Hopefully, I will talk to you guys before the weekend as we head into this March Madness. And hopefully, I have another What's for Dinner coming up. We'll figure it out from there. I appreciate everybody listening out there, and I hope you guys have a good week. And I'm going to try to play this song. And again, the levels are all fucked up, so bear in mind with me. Give me a fucking break. Okay, we'll see you guys. Let's see if this actually works. Nope. Oop. This song's old as fuck. It sounds like shit. Real tinny. Have a good weekend, guys. Shoptalkwithdrew and Yahoo.